our new idol is finally here. So let's talk a little bit about first impressions on Mint and obviously, sorry, on Prika and pairing her with Mint and what's going on right now. So as usual, this is a first impression. Do not take it as a final review because it is not. Character came out like an hour ago, right? So this is some of the tests we've been doing. We are gonna keep doing tests. Risa is doing a lot of testing with Snow White and Sui as well to see what's better or not when it comes to Pierce compositions. But for now, this is what we have, and we're gonna be talking a little bit about initial impressions, how to build her right now at least, right? And if we are feeling like it's necessary to pull for her or not, and if you need to pair them together or not. So before we start, as usual, hello the internet, welcome back to Waifus. I'm Sefhi, your favorite gambling addict, and today's topic is going to be on the doggo that, my god, she looks fine instant. T0 on the asset tier list. When it comes to being meta herself, I even took her to 10-10-7, and I took my Mint as well to 10-10-10, just to compare a little bit better with stuff like my Nayuta and my Crown, who are fully invested, right? So I did level them up a little bit higher than what I intended initially, I guess, but it's fine. Hopefully it's not wasted resources. So at the moment, a TLDR, she's looking really good. Both of them together are looking really good. So let's jump directly into all of these numbers here, and then we'll go into her skills and everything else and how to build her, right? So for a reference, we've been using both Mint Prika always together versus Crown Private versus Nayuta Private, or for example Bunny 8 Private, things like that, right? Comparing her with other B2s overall. Now, when it comes to current duos in the game, this is the strongest duo currently in the game. I don't think it's something hard to achieve, because the only real competition for duos at the moment is going to be the mates, both Mast and Anchor. And the majority of times, we do not really use them together, we just use Mast instead, right? So at the moment, they are the best duo, yes, but it's also not something hard to achieve, because a lot of the duos we have fallen down tremendously. Between your Tianaga, between your Blanc Nord, between your, even if you want to put Enwa and Emma in here, which are not bad characters, but you know, when we actually use them, the amount of buffs they can provide are not that great in terms of damage output. So it's not hard to call them the best duo, I will say, by today's standard, but it is nice to get a new one this year. So at the moment, when it comes to damage numbers, using both of them together, I did Train Museum, I did Blacksmith Museum, and some Union Rage when I got tired of Museum. So when they were 777, they were doing 8.7 billion with my Prika and my Mint. You guys can leave it on auto the majority of times and it will work. It will do Prika, and then she will never burst again because she keeps increasing her own cooldown. So you will never burst with her. There is a slight problem on teams with lower burst generation where she will get her burst again. But this is only on teams like, for example, this one right here on full auto, where she actually was recovering her burst 2 minutes into the fight, give or take. So that's like the only thing to consider, but for the most part, they are auto-friendly, pretty simple to set up. Once with Prika, then just Mint forever, and Mint will always get singing. She does not get both singing and dancing, right? So pretty simple, pretty nice. You get the good buff, and now you get the heals from Prika forever, consistently, for the whole fight, and she's also going to be buffing everyone else as well. So 8.7 right here on Train Museum, with Neon doing 3.1 and Cinderella doing 3.1 as well. And let me zoom in a little bit more so you guys can see it better. And then here we switch to Crown doing 10.5 billion, with Neon doing 4 billion and 3.2. Now I took her to 10-10-10 afterwards because I was like, okay, let me take them to 10-10-10, see what's the damage increase, and as you guys can see on the screen right now, from 8.7 to 9.3. And this is still a lot of room left to increase their damage because they both have caster's attack. They only have one dupe, and they have awful gear as well, which will impact their combat power. So there is a lot of room left to improve because both Mint and Prika are base copy. Both are SR phase 0 purple dolls. So there's like a lot of things you can improve to increase even more their damage. So this is fantastic. We're talking about a duo that can catch up to currently the best B2 in the game with the best treasure in the game as a buffer, just Private, right? And then we went into Nayuta Private and still can't fully catch up, 9.6 versus 9.3. Funny enough, For a rocket launcher like Neon or Cindy, it depends on the buffers, because, for example, Privacy will benefit them more overall. Like, if we're talking about a character like Neon, will benefit from both of them, right? Like, it doesn't really matter. But when it comes to Cindy, she can benefit more from Mint Prika. But when it comes to Pierce, we went to Blacksmith, Water Week. The Pierce girls benefit a lot more from something like this. So as you guys can see, for Blacksmith Museum, we're talking about the 9.9 Crown Privacy, 9.5 Mint Prika, 9.2 Bunny 8 Privacy. Really good numbers when it comes to Pierce, like fantastic. For both Snow White and also Doro benefits quite a bit from these teams, right? So I like them a lot here. I might be running them on Pierce rather than on explosive projectile explosion damage, and maybe keep your Anis for a different team instead, right? And you can put someone else in here as a B1. But on Pierce, really good damage. And then I went to Union Range for Fire Week, and we got the 26 billion damage with Mint Prika and 32 with Crown Privacy. Only ran one team with Diesel and Rappy in there. She also benefits so much more in this specific case on the Union Range, you know, with the boss that barely moves, the machine gun, the core hits consistently with Crown Privacy. So it's not like a fantastic test. Take it as a reference only, because Union Range is not a good test. And then for some quick preview on what Risa is doing, so you guys can see, he's testing Sui versus Mint. Versus Prika. He's doing Sui Mint, getting 13 million damage, and he's doing Mint Prika together, getting basically the same damage. So in some situations, you don't want to be running them together, because it heavily depends on investment, on what you have available and whatnot, and even comparing with the Crown Must, it's a 14.2. So as you guys can see, really good characters, and this is only opening more and more team compositions, because you are not required to run them together. You are not required to put Mint Prika together. You can do Sui Mint, you can do Crown Must instead of putting Anchor. Like, it's just more options for team compositions. So really happy with that, because I don't think, you know, for a new player they necessarily need to be pulling for them. But this is just opening more teams for everyone who cares about endgame and raids. I like them a lot. Now, should I be pulling Sefhi? And then we'll talk about how to build them. If you're a new player and you don't care about raids, no. If you care about raids, absolutely. They are both really good characters. Mint gets priority over Prika for sure, because Mint is going to be a way more versatile and universal character than what Prika can provide. Even while Prika still has her skill 1 that can be used everywhere, right? Because skill 1 is still basically you can put anywhere. But even then, Mint is the winner out of the two. At least for now. We'll see how things evolve as raids come out and people find new team compositions, right? As usual. But every duo has always a character that's better. If you look at Naga, it's Naga. If you look at Blanc Nord, it's Blanc, because she can be paired with Rogue. If you look at Mast Anchor, it's Mast, etc. So in this case, in my opinion, Mint gets higher priority. And if you are thinking on ticketing as a free-to-play that doesn't care about endgame, I will say it's not necessary, because the next banner should be a 1% banner. And that's where you should be using your tickets, not now. That said, if you care about endgame or you care about tower, absolutely, I will be grabbing a copy of each. When it comes to tower, you still have a lot of options for Tetra, because Tetra, right now, the tower, the character that's carrying is not going to be Mint Prika, it's not going to be a B3, it's Anis. It's just her, nothing else, literally, it's Anis, right? So if you don't have Anis, it doesn't even matter if you're getting Mint Prika, it's not going to change anything. And you still have Moran as well, but you have more options. Now you can run your mates if you want, sorry, your idols if you want, your bunny with 8, you can be running the other bunnies if you wanted to be running Blanc with Rogue. You can still be running something like Velvet. There is plenty of options. For Tower, I don't think they're mandatory, but they are really strong, because they provide a lot of extra buffs that the bunnies don't have, while still having survivability with the heals that Prika is providing, right? Blanc still looks too good though, so I'm a wide bunny simp, what can I say? Now, that out of the way, let's talk a little bit about how to build her and her skills and how I'm feeling about her numbers. So at the moment, this is a character that, like a lot of the recent characters, I don't think there is a need to go past 7, and even level 4 on her burst feels like it's more than enough, because the heals only go up to a 3% at level 10, and the charge damage only goes up to like a 25% at level 10. Skill 1 or 2 are great. If you want to level them up to 10, you can. But as you guys can see, from a 7-7 to a 10-10-10, right? Like 7-7-7, 10-10-10, the difference wasn't that high. I mean, it is extra damage. If you care about rates, obviously, yes. But for a more casual player, I believe like the 7-7-7 on both idols at the end of the day is going to work. I could even see a 7-7-4 on Prika and have no problem with that. But again, it heavily depends on what content you want to be using them. Mainly for raids, if you were to try harding 10-10-10, it's going to be extra damage. You want that. You're more of a casual player, just doing raids on the side, you know, for some extra income on gems and because you enjoy team building, 7-7-7 works for now. And same for skill 1 and 2. Like I said, they are both great skills, but you don't really care as much for the level 10 because you're not gaining that much from level 7 to level 10 in terms of the percentages for the numbers. So it is a nice increase in damage, but it's not mandatory. When it comes to her gear, you could build her as a DPS if you want, because she is gaining peers for herself. So you could be going for a DPS build, but it feels like such a waste, or in my opinion, right? Like having so many burst 3 characters in the game is like, are you gonna be rolling mint Prika as DPSs when you could be using your rocks on, you know, so many of these characters? I don't know. I don't think it's worth it. If you want to be going for anything, it could be for some charge speed to help her a little bit with her skill 1. It could be for max ammo, because as usual, sniper rifles by default don't have a lot of bullets, so max ammo and charge speed are good. If you like her enough and you care enough, you could be going for a basic bitch DPS build with attack and elemental, but I do not recommend it. And then when it comes to the cube, no surprise here to absolutely nobody. 2-second reload time. On every situation, you go with resilience. Even more so, because now there is no reload speed buffs. You're losing your crown, you're losing your privacy, you're losing a lot of characters that provide that extra reload speed. So you're gonna be going with resilience in most situations. So that's it. That's basically everything at the moment with our new girl. I do like them a lot. I will be using them in raids because they are like perfect for me. I like having good characters that can provide great buffs while being safe on my teams, right? While always having some heals. So that's nice. I'll be making a video next on all of the current duos we have and what I would rank them at the moment, considering, you know, using them together. So probably we'll do that next. And then lastly, in terms of tier list, I'm not sure yet. I need to keep testing, obviously, but it feels Mint is the winner here, and that she can be used alone, while Prika will be rated only as pair with Mint, because you are losing the majority of the buffs if not, right? So we'll see what we do. Most likely without Mint, it's gonna be a T3. I can see her in T2 with Mint, but for now, no rating. We'll talk about that tomorrow. That's it. That's everything for this one. That's the whole thing for our Japping on first impressions video. As usual, you guys have the links in the description for everything. Good luck with your pool, narrates, and I'll see you on the next one.